o'clock on the dot, so let's go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us this evening, Wednesday, January 26th at 7 o'clock p.m. for our regularly scheduled public board meeting. I'm glad that you all could join us out here. I'm glad that you can join us on Facebook. We're happy to have you. So the first thing on our agenda is the approval of minutes from previous meeting that was dated 12/21/21, which has just been a hot minute ago. So we've not really had that much school in between now and then, so this should be a relatively short meeting. I will accept a motion to approve those meeting minutes.
I will make that motion to approve those meeting minutes.
Jerry makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Brian seconds. Are there any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next thing on our agenda is Brenda. Hi, Brenda.
Hi, good evening. So, did I understand it correctly that there's no projector screen tonight?
We have a projector screen for you,
As long as you don't want us to.
but it's very low tech.
Okay. Perfect. Well, we of course have not had a lot of interactions, again, because of Christmas break and since your last meeting. We did not have a January site visit. We actually ended up canceling all of those just to kind of let things settle from holidays, and there were, increasing COVID numbers in our area as well as around the state. And so there's not a lot of updates from Education One tonight, but I did include a few here. One thing that I know we have been focusing on throughout the whole year is attendance.
for sharing, Brenda.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay, so next on the agenda is the financial review. Board, my apologies. Because of the time of year that this is, the Form 9s for the Department of Education are due. So Danny Marsh and Kevin Davis have been really working on getting those finalized and approved and ready to submit to the Department of Ed. So we do not have transactions to approve for this month. So we will review December's financials and January's financials in February's meeting. The only other thing to mention there is that we have, I think this is our final payment for charter school capital. So pending the need to sell any more receivables, I think we are out of debt with charter school capital.
Nice.
And I do know that one of the transactions that posted this period was for our construction work. We paid that prior to the end of the calendar year. So Benny Grimes has been paid in full.
Good.
And I think the only thing left outstanding from that is our stinking signs, which I'm hoping are installed very, very soon. They're paid, they're here.
The
they're just not
electronic
installed.
signs outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the lighted exterior signage.
Right.
They'll be here.
Yeah, someday.
I think weather's preventing it right
Whatever. It's cold everywhere. The next thing on the agenda is the organizational structuring review. And I have that pulled up so that I can share. And I don't have my glasses, so this is kind of painful. I'm gonna shrink that. Okay. So here's a little snippet, and I realize that the font is really small, and I'm sorry about that, but we can send this out to everyone that requests it, and it will eventually be available on our website. I would like it to be. So, as we discussed the last time that we looked at this, we have added a position of Director of Finance and Operations. We've done the interviews for that, and I believe that's on the docket for approval this evening. We have an assistant principal, you'll see is highlighted with a dash outline. We don't intend to fill that position today, tomorrow, but we would like to go ahead and keep that in the structure for future use. Yeah, I don't know why I can't see that. The orange is operations, just so you know, that's what the legend down here says. So there's really not a lot of changes for the education side of the house. The only thing to note is that our instructional assistants and paraprofessionals are kind of their own entity. They're not assigned to specific grade levels or specific teachers. So that just means that they will, we hope that there will provide a greater flexibility with that rather than an assignment to a specific grade level or a teacher. On the operations side of the house, that's pretty much everything that doesn't fall underneath the education umbrella. So things like our extracurricular activities, our sports ball teams, our, sorry, it's just what it is to me. Things like IT, we hope to have an IT, either a position or contract coming in the near future for that support. Transportation would fall under this. So it's really anything, like I said, that's not education. With that said, that's kind of where we are with the organizational structure, and I would like to bring this to the board and accept a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion.
Jerry makes
for
the
a vote
motion
of approval.
to approve the organizational structure. Is there a second? Jen seconds, she beat you. Are there any questions about the organizational structure or the motion on the table? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So with this, this is as good a time as any for me to, I want to stop sharing my screen. That would be great. So this is as good a time as any to let you know of a change that we are having on the board and a series of changes that will follow suit. Effective January 31st, I will no longer be a founding board member, board trustee, or the board president. And it's a weird change, but it's a change that we're accepting and moving on with. And so that ripple brings about some other changes, and I'm going to let Jason talk about those changes and what is happening upcoming.
Okay, so the nomination committee is going to get together. We're going to pull different people in on the nomination committee. We are going to request resumes, applications. It's an unpaid position, but applications to be on the LCIS board, and we're going to be recruiting 3 people to the board. So we'll post that on the website, and you can send in your resumes, and then we will make our decisions. I do.
Yeah. I think, can you tell everyone why we decided to go back up to 9?
Okay, so in June is when they will.
We have our annual
We
meeting.
have, yeah, annual meeting. We will do vote for the new president, vice president, secretary, and there's going to be probably some more turnover from the founding board members, and so we wanted to get it back up to 9 people so that they have some experience. The newcomers have experience at that time.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yep. So good things to come on that. If you are interested in serving on the Board of Trustees for LCIS, pay close attention to our website, because we'll be divvying that information out there, and we'll probably have some posts on social media about how you can reach out and contact us about that. So obviously we have to have a president going forward, and the board has decided that Chad will be the interim president. Our bylaws allows that the vice president step up in the capacity of the president in the event that the president is unavailable or incapacitated, I believe is the wording that it uses. So we're going to stick with unavailable. And so Chad will hold the office of interim president until the June annual meeting, when we will then vote someone new into the office. Did I summarize all of that? Okay. The next thing is our principals update. So Joanne, we'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you for all that. And so I wanted to start with celebrations. And again, we haven't been at school for very many days, but still many things have happened here at LCIS. We've been able to stay in-person learning, and I think that's fabulous, except for adding one e-learning day, which was for the purpose of everybody getting well, being able to come back, and being able to come back with attendance rates that were higher. And now all of our staff has returned, and we start to see an increase in our attendance every day. People are coming back, and we're getting back into being our daily operations.
Yay for healthy.
Yes, yay for healthy. Yes, and that is through the effort of everybody that is working together to make sure that we're keeping our community sanitized and safe, and being respectful of those things, because we want to be in-person learning. We know that when students are in school, and they're in school on a regular basis, and they have higher attendance, that the outcomes are greater for them. And so we want to continue to keep that. And then the outcomes are academic, socially, emotionally, and so we want to make sure that we're continuing that for our students. Our attendance, I know that Ed One kind of touched on that, and probably the biggest thing that I can add is that yes, it did go a little low, but it's coming back up, and we're starting to get those numbers back up, and we'll continue to do that. Today was a e-learning day for students, but it was a PD day for us here, the staff. We had a staff pitch in lunch. again, I mean, I could just tell you that everybody here cooks fabulously, and I am very grateful to them because I bring soda. So, but I eat well, so I love it. And it's really a good time that we actually all get to eat together, talk together, build community together, and also get some really serious things done. And so some of the things that we did today, we had PD training on trauma-informed interventions and ACEs for students that have those higher adverse childhood experiences, and how we can interact with them and build those relationships. That again will also help bring up their academic grades and make them more successful. Purdue Extension was supposed to be here today. Unfortunately, the young lady who does the training did have COVID, so had to cancel the in-person training, but they did give us online training because they have provided us with a bullying curriculum that teachers can bring into their classrooms. It's a full curriculum. It's all paid for, and it's definitely going to be helpful to us for the process of making sure that we are keeping our students safe. But we will have them back. Purdue Extension will probably come back and do an in-person training with teachers in the future. We also have changed our schedule for school, and so part of our day today with our school improvement team was, hey, how's that going? How's the new schedule going? What's the feedback from students, from parents, and from teachers? And everybody so far, all the feedback has been extremely positive about the new schedule. Middle school students have shared that they like having their elective at the end of the day to wrap up the day and do something that they are engaged in. And part of that leads right into media. And so, okay, Mr. Young has just made media class and media for LCIS explode. I honestly think that we will be worldwide soon. I mean, he's only made almost every single news station, and our students have too. We know that he brought in a new producer, Ava, and so he's now the executive producer, so we can't put all the credit on him, but our students are a part of that, and that is absolutely fabulous. And that's part of the new schedule that was even able to be done. The next elective that's kind of getting some, you know, I guess, acclimates is that our yearbook and newsletter elective class students have been taking more ownership. So if you're opening and reading the LCIS parent newsletter, most of those stories are now, you'll see a little editorials by our students. They're adding in what the upcoming events are. They're doing the lunch. So they're actually taking that and providing that home. So taking more ownership and providing the students with that parent newsletter. We have been set up with the DOE and USDA food distribution, and that's up and running. We've already been able to put orders. That's Ms. Carla Hudson has also been a part of that, and that's typically something that you have to be in and prove for a whole year before they'll even do, and they have already approved us. So that's fabulous. That is nice. It will help with making sure that any food shortages we can grab from there and make sure that our kiddos are being fed morning and afternoon. And so the next is sports, because part of building community. I don't know if y'all made the game last night.
Oh.
If you didn't, what a game.
And the most exciting game.
It was very exciting, and all of the games are exciting, and that is the one thing, our community, our students, our parents, our teachers, and it doesn't matter whether we win or lose, and I say that every time because like we are happy, and the athletes, student athletes are happy, and the coaches are happy whether we win or lose. And I mean, that's just what it should be. Real leadership skills there, real champions, because that's what a champion is, right? It's not about the winning or losing, but it's about celebrating each other and building that community, and it was a great game. And I love Mitchell, so because that's who we played last night. They did put up a good fight, and I also will say that their young men, teen athletes, student athletes, cleaned up everything where they were sitting. They picked up all their trash. They put it in. They were very respectful here, and so yes, I really appreciated that. So I know this is LCIS, so sorry, but I would expect that we'd be the same anywhere we went. So I want to give them that alchemy. That yeah, you guys did great. Okay, Ed 1, so we're still on track. I know that Brenda went over that, but we are still on track for meeting our student growth and achievement, although we now know that there are some areas that we're gonna put a little more focus in and get together and really set up a plan for that. Additionally, today in our PD, Rachel Fender came, she's our school psych, and together as a team of teachers and aides, we put together a multi-tiered system of support so we can start identifying those students that need extra help or maybe need to be identified. And we also had our 100th day of school on Friday the 21st. If you were in the building or saw the media, you might have seen some very old students that had reached 100 years old in kindergarten. It was lovely to see, and all the creations that they did in their shirts. Mrs. Fugate, after the bell, I visited that the last couple of Thursdays. She's doing that with the middle school. Students are, because they're middle schoolers, they're not kids. Our students there are building community in there. It's always full. There's always great things to learn, a snack, and to do. So I encourage all our middle schoolers to come and do that on Thursdays. And I think that is all I have for my principal report. I didn't tell you anything negative, did I?
Nope. Nope. Good.
Go LCIS.
Yay. Next on the agenda, thank you, Joanne, is staffing changes, including resignations and new hires. And Mr. Chad Shaw is going to deliver that good news.
Yes, so I have a letter from the hiring committee within LCIS for employment recommendations. LCIS Board of Trustees, is with great honor and enthusiasm that we, the hiring committee, recommend the following outstanding individuals to join our LCIS family. So new hires: Tricia Turner, Director of Finance and Business; Samantha Couch, long-term middle school ELA substitute; Leona Robinson, resource aide; Zachary Cheney, resource aide; Melissa Brown, one-on-one aide; Christy Collins, second shift custodian. And I guess with that, I accept a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I will second it.
Okay, Jason makes the motion, Jerry seconds, and I guess at this point, do we have any comments on the motion?
I abstain from voting.
Okay, so
Fair enough.
Tricia and Ryan both abstain. In the comments, I'd also like to add that Josh Davis is being moved from part-time to full-time. And, I mean, I'll make a personal comment. Jason and I actually had the pleasure of, or opportunity of being on the panel for the Director of Finance and Business Operations. And I have to say that, thank you to the candidates that applied for that position. We had several candidates. They were good interviews. But, I just want to say that, Tricia really stood out against the rest of the candidates, and it was a good decision. So that's just my personal. With that, I guess we take a vote. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Looks like motion carries. Sorry, that was the first time I've ever done that.
Good job, Chad.
Just need to be louder, right?
I need
Yell,
to be
Chad.
magnified.
Yes, we're getting you a bullhorn.
There you go.
Yeah, you need to get used to it.
Yeah. Last thing.
I forgot to announce resignation.
Oh, you did, yes.
I apologize.
Please proceed.
Resignations are Tim Baker and Amanda Wright. Sorry, I missed that.
That's okay.
Just a little nervous.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And we are sorry to see them go, but we wish them the best in all of their future endeavors. So, last on the agenda is our PTO update, and I understand Julia is going to give us. We did. Julia is going to give us the update.
Hi, for those of you who don't know, I'm Julia Jackson. I'm the new vice president for PTO. Unfortunately, our treasurer, Miss Jamie, is stepping down, but we're getting an awesome replacement, Miss Tammy Spradlin. She's one of our 3rd grade teachers. Taking her place effective next meeting, which is, our meetings are always the first Thursday of the month at 6 o'clock.
Yep.
But we're talking about moving it up so that teachers might be able to come. We had a couple comments that if it was like right after school or an hour-ish after school, we would have maybe more
Can't get there.
teacher involvement. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Anyways.
Yeah, right.
Really the only other announcement I have is that we will be doing a big splash, I always mispronounce this, Wildstem Ranch, and Candy Clouds Cotton Candy sales starting February 1st, and that will last 2 weeks. So your students will be getting forms sent home. You take the orders, you collect the money, you turn all that back in the 15th or 16th, and then we turn that into Big Splash, and then they disperse the items within 2 weeks, and then we will disperse forever. That's pretty much all I got. Short and sweet.
How have concessions been doing?
Fantastic. We did notice we weren't making a whole lot of profit, so we did raise the prices a smidgen, but I have not heard any complaints. They're more than happy. I still hear we're the cheapest around.
Than everybody else.
Yeah, we're still cheaper. So, but we're making, I mean, like.
Cost efficient.
Yes. So, I'm not sure what we spent at the last Sam's Club trip, but just last night we made 400 and, it was over 400.
400 and something.
Something, yeah.
429.
But, I mean, we've had games back to back to back this week.
Great.
But we
Should
only
be a
have 2
big
more
week
nights
for
left.
concessions.
Yeah.
I shall be glad when it's done.
We only have two, and it's like my favorite. I'm screaming from the concession stands.
Oh, yeah.
I make their ears hurt.
Oh,
Last night was a big one.
Last night was a big
But, yeah, concessions are just fun, and I'm hoping that maybe next year we can bring, because this was our first time doing it. I've never done anything like that before. Neither, have you done concessions? Okay. Well, she's experienced.
She's
but I'm
like,
not.
yeah, I'm a
But
pro.
next year, I would like to get student involvement, and that was a parent's idea as well,
Oh,
but
nice.
I was just nervous because I didn't know what I was doing. But now that we have a better handle on it, I would love to get the middle schoolers in there helping us out. You know, we would teach them responsibility, finances, math, customer service skills, social skills, all of the above, so.
I was making some 3rd graders help me do math on the door fees.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
I was making them work hard a couple nights ago.
I mean, you know, they're gonna have to learn all these social skills anyway, so why not start them early? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Did you have anything else to say, Stacy?
No, I think you covered.
All right.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now, the last portion of our meeting here, I turn it over to you all and ask you if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you'd like to share with the board.
I did have a parent at last PTO meeting mention a few concerns.
Yeah.
A lot of it, I really wanted her to be here tonight. I asked her last night to come and she said she probably couldn't make it. But she would love more lighting in the back parking lot.
Because it's so dark, she said.
After
leaving.
ball games, it kind of is dark, and she just brought that as an idea.
That's a great idea, actually, yeah.
Is
Even
there
the
a
front.
way for, like, can parents like comment on the live and say their concerns, or do they need to be present and?
Unfortunately, they need to be present.
Okay.
We can't monitor that and conduct a live meeting. I think
Okay,
it's just
well,
up to
I just wanted to clarify that for the public because, you know,
Yeah, I do
they
think.
think of something and they're like, oh, I need to comment that, but.
I do think that we have some participation after the meeting, where we might try to go back and answer some of those comments perhaps, but
Okay.
during the meeting, I think.
Because all board members need to be present and,
Yeah.
and agrees, okay.
Yeah,
That was just one that stuck out to me was the lighting, 'cause
yeah,
even in the mornings, I mean, buses are here and it's just now being daylight,
Right.
stupid winter.
stupid winter.
Stupid winter.
No,
Thank you.
I think that's a very good suggestion, and that's something that we, yeah, we need to look at, yeah, for sure. Get her done. Anything else? Okay. With that, for the last time, I will accept a motion to adjourn. Jen makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Brian seconds. Questions? None. In favor saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good night.